what other subjects do we work with students on? Well, this is an example of a student who's passionate about mechanical and electrical engineering. It's actually a student from Asia who worked with one of our great mechanical engineering professors, Dr. Bradshaw at Columbia, who's also in the leadership at Pratt & Whitney, one of the world's largest aeronautics manufacturers. But they did something amazing. Together, they worked on developing this electronic headset for analyzing swimming performance. It's this kind of ugly looking, admittedly, but very effective waterproof electronic device that he was wearing, his high school swim team would wear to analyze stroke speed, laps, and many other things. They even coded the software to kind of interpret the data that the device was sending. Not only that, they received, I believe, 2 patents for the technology that the student developed. And then they even designed, or they collaborated on a research paper together, which you're seeing a little of on this slide. Basically, and this paper was published. It was also presented in a design conference in Manchester in the UK. But this was a little more about the technology that the student developed, as well as a market comparison, because he was actually starting this up as a business. The student developed several of these devices and was selling them to other schools, high schools locally. So it's a market comparison versus, how much your Fitbit or Apple Watch might cost and what it can do compared to his device. So this is a really incredible student, as you can tell. He also had access to a maker space in his local area, so he could do some of the building and then get the support from his professor. But obviously very talented and achieved a whole lot and had a whole lot going for him in terms of his academic performance and otherwise. But he did end up earning admission to just last year. He ended up getting a full scholarship at UChicago, and then maybe upsetting his parents a little bit, but he ended up turning that down. And he's a freshman at Caltech this year, which was his ideal school. So that was a STEM example. I want to also give you an example of a student who is passionate about economics and as well as mathematics. So this was another great student from Asia, actually from Taiwan, who had a passion for econ, is intending on majoring in that subject in college. And we paired her up with one of our great senior lecturers, Dr. Peter Kempthorne from MIT, who's a lecturer in financial mathematics, economics, statistics, data science, an incredible expert in that field. But what they did together was really amazing. So this student, she had been working with her parents' business in real estate for several years, and she worked with Dr. Kempthorne to use advanced statistical software or data science programs to predict the ideal time intervals throughout the year to invest in real estate in different markets around the world, which was actually quite an incredible paper that I'll show you. This is a little bit of the final evaluation that the student did, but actually filled out by the professor. But this student ended up writing an incredible research paper. As you take a look at a little bit more of that final evaluation where the student was able to meet and exceed the expectations of her professor. But this research paper ended up being a really incredible 10+ page paper on specific to the California real estate market and looking at when is the ideal time intervals, when are they to invest within that region in order to maximize kind of capital. But another very high achieving student, she received a letter of recommendation from her professor, and ultimately just received just about, I think a week or two ago, we heard news that she was accepted to her ED2 school, which was NYU Stern, one of the top 2 or 3 undergraduate business schools in the world. And she was also recently admitted to the Ross School at the University of Michigan. So a really incredible kind of end result for her, and we're just thrilled for her.